scholar, PG students, and faculty are from engineering background, pharmacy background, physiotherapy. So it's mixed background, sir.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, fine. And more than 90% people are, more than 80% people are from, they are faculty members in some of the institutes,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
then we should calibrate our discussion based on that, right? Okay,
Okay, yes.
fine. Thank you. So I think I have already shared my some portion of the slides. Are you able to see this portion clearly?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so while I am going to talk today regarding how to write research proposal, it is also very important to tell you regarding little bit some idea regarding research methodology and what are different steps. Okay, because each of you are going to be you are involved, either you are already involved or you are going to engage yourself in research, and from that point of view, it becomes a very important point of departure for you to note that what exactly are the steps and how one can plan these things so that your research becomes more systematic. Okay, and then there will be some kind of visible outcome. Otherwise, if research remains partially theoretical, partially unimplementable, or there is no visible outcome, then it becomes of no use. And this kind of research, it will not be much useful in field. So it is always better to have a better design of experiment, and also we should knack it to a very good level of definition of objectives, problem definition, research gaps, and so on. So from that point of view, I will spend some time over that as a part of research methodology. Okay, and then I will also try to demonstrate with some examples that how best we can do that. I think the same forum, when I presented my thoughts, I presented it related to technical writing, that how to write research papers. Okay, but today I'm going to basically talk more on how to write research proposals, and I'm also going to highlight what are those, or which are those some of the funding agencies where you can try, and then you can upload your proposals, and wherever if possible we can support you in terms of advising you. Okay, so how that is possible, that let us have some discussion. I think since the whole theme is on research, by this time you must be knowing it very well that it's a very systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of any natural phenomena. Okay, which has to have some very good background of theory. Okay, or maybe some kind of hypothesis which is there, can be from the point of view, some intuition might be there regarding some hypothesis that something is more than, something is less than, something is more effective, something is less effective. Okay, so always you are in the stage of decision making, so that your research becomes very effective, and then your research becomes something like it can be notified, or it can have some visible outcome, and with some implementation. At least at the end of your research, there will be some kind of outcome, that what is good and what is not good. So if that much is also clear to you, I think that can be considered as a very good attempt in order to conduct research. Okay, so there will be a lot of things which are already available in literature. So it is always a challenge to most of the researchers that what you will do new. Okay, so it also depends on what field you are working. For example, some Darshan told that there are some pharmacy rated people. Okay, so definitely there is a very high probability that you can work on some drug design. Okay, so for which you need more simulation studies, because you cannot plan directly drug design. There will be some kind of physics based experiments related to material, and then the bonding, and the kind of electron, protons, and all those kind of electrons basically, and then those kind of some chemical chain reactions, and some bonds, chemical bonds, which are very important for you to note down. So from that point of view, what are the requirements of tools, how well you are at those tools, how to gain knowledge regarding that, all those things you should plan in advance, so that it becomes a kind of option for you, that you can go for it. Okay, now online, when you go, you can see that nowadays there are a lot of softwares, or a lot of tools which are available, but they will not be available to you in full capacity or in full potential, but they will give you certain student license, or okay, some enabled features of that software, so that you can use it for the purpose. And by the time you realize that you are getting some output, you will realize that I should have this full version of this software or tool, so that you are in position to do a well-fledged or okay, well supported research. And then out of that you can also say that this is how it should be also designed and then implement in field, so that one can go ahead, right? So for this purpose we need a very strong funding. Without funding, when you do research, then I think it is always you will always feel that there is always a scope for the improvement in these particular results. Okay, anyway, with funding also it will be there, but then with funding you will have some quality results, and you can go for better design of experiment, and you can also spend some good funding if it is available for the proper research orientation and its outcome. So this is what is the whole theme of my presentation today, and I will be getting on with this particular one. So it is very careful, systematic and patient study and investigation in some field of knowledge. It may be engineering, it may be sciences, it may be okay, pharmacy, it may be even okay, maybe I'm not exaggerating, but even for music we need a lot of statistical analysis. So we need a lot of statistical softwares and tools even for music related stuff, okay, because these ragas they have some rhythms. These rhythms also, they follow some mathematical distribution. I'm not exaggerating, but each and every field we need a very strong base of statistics, mathematics, software development, some tool development, okay, and some simulations, okay, maybe some partial simulations, maybe something like human machine interaction and so on. For example, right now I'm talking to you, but okay, how my lecture is going to be effective, that will not be decided by how I am delivering and what is the level I am able to establish dialogue with you. Rather, I should have, somebody was telling that, rather I should have some kind of video through which I can, by machine learning and by AI based ergonomic software or algorithm, I can see that how your facial expressions are changing. So rather, I'm sorry, rather the video camera is on my face or towards me, it should be on your face. And as a whole, I should know that how exactly you are changing your expressions. So based on changing in expressions, I think I can guess, are you really interested in my lecture, or you are just simply sitting or getting bored. That means there can be enormous abilities in terms of these software tools or the AI or machine learning tools which we can bring in, and we can have a very good interdisciplinary approach. Okay, so maybe computer science person and social science person, okay, these two persons or these two researchers can work together. They can give somewhat better output. Similarly, maybe mechanical engineer and somebody who is from ergonomic side, that means human factors related stuff. So they can design a better seat in a particular car. Okay, somebody maybe design a better particular railway bogie, right? So for that purpose, recently Government of India has given one good project to this National Institute of Design in NITS at Ahmedabad, and they have they have completely designed a new brand design of a railway wagon, and where there was a ergonomics, where there was a design from not only from aesthetics point of view, but also from ergonomics point of view, but also from mechanical point of view, but also from electrical point of view, and so on. How to reduce the weight of that wagon, that was another important option. So when you talk about these kind of problems, you need good funding and you need good contacts. Okay, it is not like just good funding will fetch you very good research and results. It is also important that you have a very good contacts, and you are in you are talking to some good higher ups, or you are talking to good stakeholders, so that you get a proper insight from them for a better design of experiment and for better outcomes. Okay, so that is the reason I am telling you that it is very important to say that there should be a very careful, very systematic and patient study and investigation. Rather, I will say, if you are doing your work, okay, maybe particularly those who are pursuing their PhD, or those who are planning to pursue their PhD, I can say that they may pursue their at least 6 months in this particular stage. Okay, you have to study literature papers, you have to do a lot of literature review, and then see that how exactly your problem is going to be different. Please do not repeat the same process for which results are already available. In that case, your proposal will not be interesting, and then people will not find that they would like to give fund. And hence it is very important that it is very important to note that what are the articulated gaps which you are drawing from this particular literature review, and that is where the research methodology things they come in picture. Now it also depends on what kind of research methods and what kind of research you are doing. Basically, it may be a exploratory research, it may be a constructive research, it may be empirical research, right? This is the type 1 classification. I can tell you exploratory research is not like very rigid, but it is like a more flexible kind of thing, okay, where you can explore new problems which are not defined well. Okay, for example, if you are doing something related to COVID 2019, okay, that is a very hot and buzzword nowadays, that how exactly all the aspects in different engineering or several sciences or several social sciences branches, that how COVID has impacted them and how COVID is going to really change the life of human being. Okay, so from that point of view, if you try and do some research, then it will be a kind of exploratory research, because here you are going to explore some new things which are not reported before, because this is the first time it has come. Of course, we feel that it has come for first time, but there are enough evidences in literature and history that even this thing was there in 1600, even this thing was there in 1800, and now it is there in 2000. Okay, so it will be a very nice attempt if somebody is working out that how those 1600 century people and how those 1800 century people, how they tackled this problem, and then what was the learning out of it. Okay, but do we have that kind of literature, and have we preserved those literatures? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. So from that point of view, it will be very interesting that if you want to really have this kind of sustainable development and relationship with next generation, then you should have a proper documentation. And from that point of view, okay, this research method and research, writing funding, writing proposals for getting funding, writing, communicating research papers, all these things, they form a linkage. And if this linkage is strong, then definitely your nation and your country as a whole will rise like anything. And then we can see that, okay, there will be some visible outcome. Okay, there are attempts which are going on, but how is your idea practical? How is your idea feasible in terms of implementation and so on? From that point of view, definitely funding is required, and you must be able to find out some source of funding in order to go for a better design of experiment. Constructive research, we develop. So that means what? This is basically you have to find out problems. So it is always better to talk to industry, and once the industry has given you some problem, then you can work on those problems. And for example, we civil engineers, we are closely working with Surat Municipal Corporation, we are working with R&B division, we are working with NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, right? And then we are also working with other organizations, other research organizations, okay, which these organizations can throw problems to us, and our students and our research groups, okay, they can basically take those problems as a BTech thesis or as a MTech thesis or as a PhD work, and we can appropriately bring out some results which are tangible to their problems, which are like they can be addressed, their problems can be addressed, and they hold some promise that if we go for that kind of solution, then definitely it will be useful. Fine. So for example, if you are doing material side, then which material is going to be more appropriate for which kind of treatment? So that means when you go for treatment, is it a repair work, or is it a newly constructed work, or is it some kind of other works? Fine. Based on that, you can decide that what will be the applicability of a particular material, and then what will be the life cycle cost analysis of that. So all those things, I think you can find these things can come under constructive research, wherein you can try to provide them a full-fledged tool. And once you give them, then certainly it is going to be very, very important. For example, even a lot of people are connected with ISRO. Okay, for example, electronics engineers, they are working on satellites, they are working on small drones. Okay, and in movies also they have shown, right, that how a need-based or a problem-based research can address a very big thing, and how it was really useful for us in having that surgical strike. So these are all things which have come from some problems, and that is what I will classify it as a constructive research. Okay, of course, constructive research, if you want to do, then funding will not be possible, because you have to do some very quick solution to that. You have to bring on some quick solution to that. So maybe you can identify some of the private capital ventures or VCs. Okay, nowadays even it's a generation of self startup, or okay, those kind of things, and people, many banks like Yes Bank and those kind of people, they are really looking for some of the good proposals. Okay, plus there is a issue of okay, there is a very good provision of CSR. That is, every private company, they have to spend some 2% of their income, okay, on some research related stuff, or maybe some social service. You can talk to some of your friends, okay, those who are at higher level, and they can really bring in that momentum for you, and they can connect you to their industry based on the type of industry you want to work, or based on the type of work you want to carry out. You can think of, so for example, pharmacy people, definitely they can talk to many pharmaceutical companies. Okay, Zydus is there, and then Torrent is there, and there are okay, so many companies. I think they should be in position, okay, they should be in position to really fund you. So they if they give but then they will not give funding for those problems, like they are open-ended problems and there is no solution. Okay, definitely they will give some problem to you for which they want some solution. Otherwise, why they should fund you? So from that point of view, you have to prepare a very good proposal, and that's why I'm telling you that it's very important to understand what kind of research you are doing, and what is the classification of that research, so that it can be very effective actually. Fine. So next thing is empirical research. Empirical research is all based on the actual observed phenomena, which may be natural, but definitely it is all based on observed phenomena. For example, those who are working in water resources, irrigation departments, right? Okay, reservoir management, okay, or civil engineering stuff, mechanical engineering stuff, okay, all for that matter, any other engineering branch. Always there will be some field related problems, and there can be field related observations also. And when you do some field related observations, you can identify that what are the dependent variables, what are the independent variables, okay, and then how they can be correlated by some statistical techniques. Okay, there can be n number of regression techniques on which you can work. You can find out the limitations from one approach to second approach, okay, how it can be augmented, and how exactly you can go for a better output. So this is the way actually you have to think. Okay, and from that point of view, it is important that you get connected with some industry or some research funding agency, and that's how we have to really work upon. There is another way we can classify this as qualitative research and quantitative research. Qualitative research is basically most of the social sciences people, they do, because there is a understanding of human behavior. Okay, for example, maybe an interesting problem can be how a particular kid will behave, and how a particular toddler will behave, or how a particular human being, how he has behaved, or how he will behave when he was a kid or a baby. Okay, then a kid, then maybe a toddler, then maybe adult, and then maybe a young chap, then medium young, and then elderly people. And so this is the complete life cycle. Okay, so far it is nothing new that it is not, the literature is not available to you, but then definitely when it is available, then how this human behavior can be tapped for a better application. So although you are a social science scientist, it is not like you cannot work on any engineering problem. Okay, it is basically you are the guy, or you are the person who is going to work upon human behavior, or a human related factor, which might be interesting for some mechanical or civil engineer, okay, or maybe even electronics engineer, okay, or maybe even for medical doctoral MBBS candidate. So from that point of view, you have to really work upon, and you can bring about some factors as an outcome, which can be used by these engineers and these MBBS people, so that there can be some good breakthrough, and there can be a kind of good interdisciplinary research which can take place. So qualitative is mainly related to some social sciences experiment, okay, or a human behavior. It may be it vary from our day-to-day life to a situation where there can be some psychiatric or maybe psychological studies, or there may be some psychometric studies, and how you are trying to gauge that human behavior towards some kind of application, right? So from that point of view, it is very important. Okay, and so whichever way you can study this human behavior, it will be very, very interesting. You may study human behavior related to the laborers who are working on construction sites. You may do it related to laborers who are working in industry. You may do this kind of research related to human resources who are working in academic institutes, maybe research organizations. Everybody will have different bend of mind, and based on their profession and based on their level, how they really change their behavior, and what is the level of their thinking, and under what circumstances they will take these decisions. If you are able to gauge this, I think nothing like it, and the social science people will be very happy to see these kind of results actually, so that their results are get connected with the practical applications also. Apart from that, there can be also quantitative research related stuff, where there can be a systematic empirical investigation of quantitative properties. So here you'll be dealing with the variables which are continuously operating in field, okay, and they are very strongly correlated with each other, okay. For example, maybe in the rainy season, when there is a rainy season, definitely the factors which are related to rain, how they are going to intensify the irrigation activities, or for that matter the reservoir operations, or maybe for that matter maybe even the water resources management and operation and maintenance and all those things. So all these things are interrelated. So mainly engineering researchers will work on quantitative problems, wherein you will try to quantify the problem and you will try to provide some solution through this particular aspect, which is based on the empirical observation. That means there are already enough evidence which is available in field, that you are gauging it for the purpose of further improvement and development of that particular scheme. Okay, that is what is the type 2 classification of this research. So when you write this proposal, it is very important for you to understand what exactly is the type of research and how you should really tackle this proposal, so that you should be in position to do much better job. Okay, at the end of discussion, I am also going to show you one example of proposal, that how we can write proposal which we recently submitted to Guj Coast. Okay, and that can be also a very good attempt from your side if you can do something about that. Fine. Then, it is also important that researchers' objectives, the objectives of a research project must indicate what are those. What is to be achieved by the study? They should specify what will be done in this study, and then it is also important to have where and for what purpose we are going to do this experimentation and this research. Okay, and so results then can be tied up, or they can be compared with the objectives, and if the objectives have not been spelled out clearly, then project cannot be evaluated, and then it will be very bad. So then the experts who are going to evaluate your proposal will not be very happy with respect to what you have done and what you are going to achieve. So from that point of view, I think the most important part in your proposal is always going to be researches, research objectives, or researchers, that means research based objectives. Okay, you can say even the research objective. Here I have used plural because there may be many researchers. Okay, so from that point of view, objectives are going to be very important. I will show you some examples, then it will be more clear to you what is to be achieved by the study and what will be done in the study, where and for what purpose, and how it will be important for some important outcome. Okay, so this is the components of the framework of research design. There has to be problem definition, then problem statement, purpose, benefits, theory, literature, assumptions, background, what kind of variables are going to be used. Okay, this is what is the whole methodology which we are going to tackle in this case. And then what are the different measurements you are going to carry, what are those. These measurements are continuous, discrete, and so there can be number of examples wherein we can find out the continuous random variables, continuous discrete variables, continuous. And from that we can do a lot of probabilistic analysis, we can do deterministic analysis, or we can do some semi-stochastic or semi-deterministic analysis for the purpose of. So you should know the terms, what is deterministic, what is stochastic, and what is empirical. Empirical is the measurement which is related to a particular measurement when you do over a particular space and a particular time. That is like an empirical one. and it may give you some probability distribution, but that probability distribution will be only applicable for the time period in which you are measuring this. Okay. Apart from that, you can also measure it over the year, over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? For example, rainfall data is available for us for many years. A lot of historical data is also available. So in that case, we can say that it is fully a stochastic variable. Okay. But if you are doing it for a particular time period, then it is a kind of deterministic. And if you are doing it for some reasonable time period of something like 1 month or so, then you can say even it is going to be a semi-stochastic or semi-deterministic kind of thing. So it will be also interesting to know that what exactly is going to be your methodology, right? So from that point of view, it becomes important that methodology means what? It is not methodology means define objectives, then literature, okay, literature review, define objectives, and then study area, okay, not like that. Methodology is basically what kind of analytical techniques which you are going to use. So this is methodology of not working methodology, but it is going to be the methodology which can be used for by you for the analytical stuff or analytical tools which you are going to use in your research work. It is not like social science people cannot use. Definitely they can use. It is not like pharmacist cannot use. Definitely he can use. Okay. Similarly, okay, engineers also they can use, definitely, quite obviously, because we deal with so many stochastic processes in different mechanical engineers from different background like mechanical, civil, electrical, and so on. So from that point of view, it is very important that what methodology you have in your mind. So from that point of view, it will be interesting. Then of course, what kind of sampling you want to go for. It may be a random sample, it may be a non-random sample, or maybe probability sample, non-probability sample, maybe a bias sample, maybe a pilot sample. Okay, what should be the geographical spread of that sample? Okay, how many industries you should collect that sample? Okay, then how many structures you may collect that sample? All these things you can show it properly on map. Okay, or you can also try to correlate that how the sampling is sufficient enough to go for a very generic observation. Please do not have any specific observation. It will be always interesting if you work on some generic phenomena. That means the phenomena which will carry some weightage and it will give you a general idea about that topic, so that your research and your outcome both will be appreciated like anything. And based on that, we can say that the sampling which you have done is very much very much appropriate, and it is very adequate to say that the male candidates will behave in that way, the female candidates will behave in that way, kid will behave in that way, okay, or some engineering structure is going to behave this way, that way, and so on. So likewise, sampling, we should have a good number of variation, and you can show that a particular variable may vary from this value to that value, and for achieving this variation, how you have done a sampling and how exactly it was spread over a space and how it was spread over a time, and what kind of method you have used for the sampling of this particular sampling of your data collection, how you have done it, and what methodology you have used even for that data collection. There may be good amount of funding which is required for that. For example, if I want to collect a traffic data, I can use it using drone, I can use it using a video camera, I can use it in high-end GPS. So if I do more and more work in this direction, definitely I need more equipment. I need more equipment means I need more funding. If I need more funding means I have to write a good research proposal, and so on. So from that point of view, please try to keep in mind that it is only way to do good research is to have good funding. If you don't have good funding, then I think you will have to manage with the present resources, and if present resources are not good enough, then certainly you will have to work on then you have to certainly work on with the available kind of resources, and then it is not always true that you will get the desirable results. So it's better to write these kind of proposals. Of course, then you can do data analysis, conclusions, interpretations, and recommendations, right? So this is the overall framework or the research design generally we do, and you can see that any research can be explained based on these blocks, and these blocks only finally ultimately we try to put in our proposal, and that is where it is very important to identify that. Okay, then what's a research proposal all about? The research proposal is an outline of your proposed project that is designed to define a clear-cut question and approach to answer it. Highlight its uniqueness at doctoral level only and or significance. Of course, for masters and BTech, you can do some routine experiment or maybe something which you want to explore new. It may, if you don't want to take the risk at doctoral level, then definitely you can take those problems at masters level and BTech level, and then you can check that how exactly it is going to how exactly it is going to influence the significance. Explain how it adds to advances or challenges in the existing literature in the field or existing body of literature, that how you are going to augment that literature. That means what is new contribution from your side. So that is really very important, that to highlight all these things in your research proposal. Then maybe persuade the potential supervisors and all funders of the importance of the work, based on the importance of work, and why you are the only right person to undertake it. So this should be very well explained in your proposal. What is that your personality imbibe, that you the funder should say that yeah, you are the only person who can do that, or you are definitely one of the persons who can do that. From that point of view, it will be really interesting. Okay, and that's how research proposal should be prepared, and that's what the evaluators will look at. What is the clear-cut question and approach to answer that? Uniqueness. Okay, then what are the advances or challenges you have incorporated in that proposal, and how body of literature is going to enhance because of this proposal, okay, or because of this research. And finally, also, who are your supervisors and who are your funders? Based on that, the outcome will be definitely affected. What's the research proposal for? So again, it is the second, I think, potential supervisors are research proposals, okay, to assess. They use research proposals to assess the quality and originality of your ideas. Okay, for example, you want to approach some supervisor. So if you say that, sir, I want to do my PhD, okay, or I want to do this research, if you just approach a funding agency, then they will say that why we should give you, or why we should hire you, or why we should select you. Then your skills in critical thinking, then maybe the feasibility of the research project, what is the research idea is there in your mind, and what is the exposure you already had in your past, and what are your past experiences, and what skills you possess, so that you are the only right person who can do this particular research. So that you have to very well, okay, convince your supervisor, and from that point of view, you need a very good idea to build upon. And that's where your originality of ideas is the most important thing which you should keep in mind. Okay, think very carefully about the scope of your research and prepare, and be prepared to explain how you will complete it within the relevant time frame. That is very important. So it's not like you can take any problem and you can take infinity time, okay, or more number of years, and then you are not able to achieve anything at the end. If you do this kind, if you create this kind of situation in your research proposal, they will tell you to immediately, okay, reframe it, rephrase it, rewrite it, and then again submit it. Okay, or if it is really not work, they can also reject it without any review. So that's very important, that you write it in that format. Before making a formal application, you should identify a prospective supervisor, okay, and also get in touch. So you can also read that before you write a proposal, you can also select a prospective funding agency and get in touch with them, because for example, Guj Coast, then SERB, DST, okay, at least you guys should be able to easily access, okay, the DST, okay, DST Guj Coast proposals. You can definitely write it. There are several schemes of several values. It may be as less as 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs, okay, 5 lakhs, 1 lakh, and then it can be even as high as 50 lakhs. All those schemes are available, and you should make a very strong proposal out of it actually, to ensure that there is a mutual interest. So many times what happens, that Guj Coast will actually show what are their thrust areas, okay, or any other funding agency will show what are their thrust areas, and based on that, you will have to prepare a proposal, okay, so that you should convince them that if you go for this then the thrust area, how you are going to satisfy a particular outcome, and from that, then they may realize that yeah, it is also connected with our thrust area, and hence it becomes very important that we should fund this proposal or research, and then you can accordingly think of it. And I think in general, they will definitely have a very good spread of activities, okay, and a very good the spectrum of different areas for research, so that you can definitely write in one of the possible thrust areas, and you can make your proposal, okay, very much successful. More crucially, it is also an opportunity for you to communicate your passion. So most importantly, you should have a passion to do something good from your research. If you just want to finish your research without doing anything, then simply whatever is reported in past, if you do and end up you end your research, then you will be ending up with something which is already reported. You may say that that was the value which was reported by them, and this is the value which I got. So why it is different and how it is different, and but then you will not be able to really come out with anything new. So in that case, to go for those repetitive kind of research proposals, I think it will not be interesting. So you should have a passion to at least add some 30-40% something new in the body of literature, and from that point of view, it is important that you write all those things in your research proposal. Fine. So when you actually research proposals, make you think. Definitely, they will make you to think. So what is that? Think through your experiments. You should have some good amount of experience from your experiments. Then the outline. Okay. They will make you to think on all these things. Okay, what are your experiments? What is the outline or the steps in your proposed research, right? Then provide intellectual context to that. Okay, and then justify your research. Okay, why it is important, why it is how it can be done. Anticipate a realistic schedule or a timetable that how it can be achievable at the end of the day, and then be creative in research formulation, right? Then anticipate potential problems and how you are going to deal with those problems, and then you can use parts it in your final paper or your proposal. Fine. So that means it is basically going to start with some initial thinking through your small experiments. Maybe you can have a pilot study. Okay, for example, how a electronic component is going to be used. So you can do something in your own campus with your BTech student. Okay, then if the idea gets a little bit amplified, then you can do some more experiments at some higher level in your master students. If you don't have master students, then you may repeat it for your BTech level or maybe BSc level people, and then MSc level people, and then they can do finally something at doctorate level. And based on all those experiments, you can write a good proposal, and this may be the way that you can do that. Okay, outline the steps of your research, then provide a intellectual context into that, how exactly it is going to be possible only through your involvement. Justify your research, that how it is going to be practical and how that outcome is going to be useful for the society, for the city, okay, for the city of Surat or from wherever you are. Then how it is going to be useful even at district level, how it is going to be useful at state level, and how it is going to be useful at even at national level and maybe even international level. So it depends on how you are going to pitch your idea. Okay, it may start right in front. Okay, when you are going to get some funding from your academic institute, for that matter, if you can get it close to something like 10-20,000, you can do some small experiment. And if it is not, if you want to take it further up, then definitely you can write to some industry or maybe some banks or some kind of some kind of initial investment, and then you can say that through some idea you are able to provide some solution which is relevant to them, and then they can get some more benefit from that, and it will increase their business, and through that, okay, you can definitely do some kind of thing. Next level is to go for national level, okay, maybe state level, or maybe even you can find some district level agency, those who can do that. I'm not aware about district level agencies, but certainly I'm aware of many state level agencies who can fund you. TQIP is there, Guj Coast is there, okay, and maybe the individual ministries also are there. Maybe something like R&B, PWD also may fund you. Okay, maybe water resource people, they develop, okay, they may also fund you with your idea, and so on. So similarly, and there are a lot many schemes. I think I'm sure that Darshan must have taken care that there may be some startups, and what is the mechanism of this whole startup ecosystem, so that even there can be some good funding available. I think if I'm not wrong, there is one Ashine Center, which is an interdisciplinary center under Atal, Atal Startup Scheme, okay, AIC, Atal Innovation Center, something like that. So from that also you may write to our Ashine Center, and I think there may be some possibility that BTech level or MTech level some funding may be achievable. I think, I'm not sure, but you can definitely, at least you can definitely you may definitely, okay, contact or get in touch with these kind of people through your this startup ecosystem. I'm sure that you might be aware that there is something like Surti iLab. Okay, that is a special purpose vehicle which is constituted by SMC, Surat Municipal Corporation. We are also knowledge partner to that, and many other organizations also can be. I think even SS Gandhi also could be one of the possible partners, and okay, they can divert their students, and they can try to get some funding through already identified VCs, through which you can try to do something for Surat city. Okay, so particularly these guys, they are responsible for making city, okay, smarter, and there may be a good number of applications which can be developed at the end of the day. So if this idea is there in front of you, then definitely some of the VCs, they may be interested to, okay, fund your ideas. Particularly Surat is known for textile, Surat is known for diamond. So if you have some idea related to diamond, okay, for example, they want to go for a aesthetics looks of diamond, and how one can advertise that diamond related advertisements, or maybe some work, backup work behind website. So definitely they will be very much interested to fund you if you want to develop some new idea, and then develop some new tool which can help them to grow their business. So this is how you have to think and bring in that whole momentum in place, so that they really fund you. Is the research proposal set in stone? No. Good PhD proposals, or maybe good proposals, evolve as a work progress. ऐसा नहीं है कि set in stone यानी हो गया, step number 1 हो गया, step number 2 हो गया, 3 हो गया, and then it is going to fall in the way you have thought. There may be some real-time problems. You should have courage and passion to really deal with these kind of problems, which can be real-time, and from that point of view, you should take care that how exactly, okay, how exactly you are going to tackle that situation when some problem comes. Okay, so you may anticipate some of the problems. Definitely every researcher knows that at what stage, what kind of problems are likely to be there. Okay, otherwise he will not dare to write this kind of proposal. So definitely, and you can gain some knowledge from your previous experience, and you can say how exactly it can be done. So yes, it is very much there that there cannot be set in stone that step by step everything is achievable within 2 years. It is not possible. You have to have some problems. If you don't have problems, then there is something wrong. Like that we can say, that is the nature's rule. If you do something good and if there are no problems, then definitely there is something wrong. Okay, always at some level you will feel you will have some problems, and you have to come out of that. Then only you will see that the final product can be, okay, somewhat useful, and then it will give you some good summary for the final stuff. Structuring your research proposal is very important, right? It should be very innovative. It should be very impressive. Your writing should be extraordinary. Okay, for that also there are some softwares available online. Those, if you feel that you are not good at English, they can use some softwares like Grammarly. Okay, you can download for that matter the version which is preliminary version. Then you can go for even higher version after some time. I think they charge you something like 8,000 to 10,000. So at institute level also one can think that even in your daily routine drafting, if you want to use Grammarly software, it will be quite interesting. Some of the tools are available online which also provide some services. Okay, but they will provide you up to certain level. After that, you have to definitely go for okay, using this Grammarly software. But of course, ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरा पूरा you are dependent on Grammarly software. You should also have passion to learn how to write effectively in a very convincing way, in a very smoother way, in a very connected way, so that you structure your research proposal in such a way that it gets approved by the funding agency. The following are the elements are crucial for writing good research proposal. Of course, title should be very crisp and it should be very nice. It should convey meaning very clearly, in depth, and also in breadth. Okay, from that point of view, title is very important. Project summary, project details, research plan, timeline. I will show you one proposal through which you can see that how exactly one can see this. References cited, bibliography of plan and reading. Okay, title is it should be mini, it should be crisp, and it should be very appealing. Then only people will feel that I should read that, because very first thing comes to evaluator's mind is what is the kind of title a researcher or the proposer has written. If it is not clear, if it is ambiguous, if it is not cute. Nowadays this word is very famous. No, it is not cute. Okay, so if it is not that cute, then definitely they are not going to use it. So title should be very clear, crisp, unambiguous, and it should not be like a very fancy. Okay, it should not be like it should not be like very it should not be like cute kind of thing. Okay, so more than that, we are more worried about the scientific rigor, and that scientific rigor should be reflected in that particular title. I will show you some examples of title also. The words should reflect the focus of your proposal and put the most important words first. That is really important. Structuring your research proposal, continue. That is a project summary. Summary of your proposed research should be understandable. It should be okay. Reader should be able to connect it well, and they should also it is not like a it should be understandable to a reader and to a common man who is not even the professional and expert from your field, because it is not true that always it will go to a person who is from your field. So it is very important to write in such a way that it should be well understood and well grasped by a common man, or at least with a minimum qualification what is required to be a evaluator of that particular research proposal. Then summarize objectives. What are the implications, expected aftermaths of the research, analytical techniques, right? Project details. We should have research questions, aims, objectives of project, significance, contribution to the discipline, what is the theoretical framework and methods to be done, and so on. So research questions can be total there may be 1 or 3 questions, and finally from these research questions you are going to get some kind of objectives, and then you will tie up your results with these kind of things, finally to get some visible outcome. So research questions are something like this section should explain some questions, and which should suffice. There may be some hypothesis in that, that something is going to be more effective, something is going to be less effective, something is going to be less than, more than, and something like that. Major approach you will take is conceptual, theoretical, empirical, normative, as appropriate, and that rationale should be very well explained in this particular research question. So research question are going to convey that what is the clarity that you have in your mind while framing these questions, and significance of this research will come in academic or maybe in field if it is relevant to that. Fine. Aims and objectives of project. What do you want to know, prove, demonstrate, analyze, test, investigate, or examine? List your aims in logical sequence. Provide an outline of research proposal, and then enable a prospective student to prepare a research proposal. Of course, you should also see that some students are also helping you out so that they feel connected. Those who are likely to work with you. Structuring your research proposal. Next slide is significance, contribution to the discipline. In this section, you should justify the project from a review of literature on the topic, discuss the text which you believe are most important to the project, demonstrate your understanding of the research issues, and then identify the existing gaps from the literature, and then where your research get fit in to address these all issues. So that's how you have to look for the proposal. Main links between your research and the existing strengths, and how you are going to enhance the body of literature. So this is one very good example of that. We can write like this a comprehensive review of literature. Okay, I'm going to share this presentation with you guys. Okay, Darshan, I think you can take it up. Okay, this particular PDF copy of this proposal of this PPT, so that people can use it for understanding, or maybe they can use it for their okay guidance. They can use it as their guidance, or they can also share with others, so that the knowledge can be shared at little higher level also. So a review of the literature shows that, okay, so something like that, national status and international status. It is very important to showcase what is the national status of your research and what is the international status of your research. Okay, and then it becomes more creditable to you that how your research objectives are placed. Okay, considering this national status and international status. Naturally, national status means it has got the status from city, district, and state. Okay, while you are talking at this level, I will not read this language, because this language you can also read it when the slides are available with you. So theoretical framework and methods, you need to you do not need to have full details of the methods. Okay, you will right now in your proposal you should have some idea, but then you should definitely okay, you will use to answer your research questions, but definitely you need to demonstrate that you have already given some thoughts about those things which are going to be useful for your theoretical framework. For example, some theories which you are going to use, maybe some physics based theory, maybe some engineering based theory, maybe some kind of mathematical theory which you are going to use, or some methods. Okay, that you should have some idea, and you should mention all those things in your proposal. The important thing is to anticipate the methods you will use to achieve the project aims, and to show that your project is feasible in the time period available. It is not like it is going to end for longer. It is going to end after a longer time. If you do that way, then it is not going to be good. If your proposal is too elaborate and not feasible within 3 to 4 years, okay, for PhD, or maybe 1 or 2 years for masters, then your application is likely to be unsuccessful. It is you should keep in mind. Okay, so from that point of view, you should prepare your proposal. This is the overall flow chart which you should provide. The first step is going to be procurement of equipment, or maybe procurement of some softwares. Okay, for that matter, even I told you that social scientists also nowadays need some software, so they can definitely show all these things in some flow chart, and through that you can imagine that in this flow or the steps which you are going to carry. And in addition to that, you can also tie up with objectives, that this is going to be objective number 1, this is going to be objective number 2, this may be objective number 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and so on. Maybe or maybe another way you can do that, there may be a complete okay, bigger flow chart wherein you can show objective number 1, objective number 2, objective number 3, and how they are interrelated. Okay, so when you have this much of clarity, then I am sure that your proposal is definitely going towards acceptance, and you will see it step by step you are achieving what is really desired from you as a good researcher towards preparing a very good proposal which can have a highest probability to get selected. Aim to address the following points. It is always important. How do you anticipate that you will achieve the project aims? What is really the rationale for adopting a particular approach? Okay, rational means what is the justification, or what is the approach? Okay, what is the practical thinking behind that? What do you really need? Identify a special equipment or software in material that you want to use. Can you access necessary data or expertise? Do you require a particular resource? Do you require some travel or field work to be done? All these elements are important to be noted, because based on that only you will be able to give some funding details. If you don't justify your funding details, then you are not likely to get project, because they will think that you don't have clear-cut idea that how you are going to spend your fund and grant, and in what time period and in what phase. So it is very important that you also write down those things, and for which you should have a perfect research plan and you should have a perfect timeline. Okay, if you don't have that one, then it is not going to be good. So this is how it should be done. This is a very good example that how a particular flowchart can summarize, okay, the timeline for the proposed research project, what are the tasks of that, and these are the month-wise distribution. This is first year, this is second year, this is third year. And if you are able to do this, then you can allocate the funding, that how much you require in the first year, how much you require in the second year, how much you require in third year. And then there should be logical explanation for that, because it is not like you are going to buy your equipment in third year. Maybe minor equipment you can buy if it is required, but most of the 90% of your procurement should be done in your first 6 months. Okay, so whatever government procedures you want to follow, tendering, this thing, that thing, all those things should be done right in your first year, and you should be ready with your equipment so that you can go ahead with the task in the second year, and then finally the analysis. Okay, by the, I think, mid of your research proposal, you should start your analysis, and then certainly you should be in position to give some better output, okay, visible outcome in the third year. And there can be several intermediate reviews at the end of every 6 months or at the end of every year, so that you should be in position to show that what is your progress. And all those things, they should reflect very well in your timeline. If you don't provide this timeline well, then it is not going to be really successful. So that much clarity you should have before you really write this proposal. References, bibliography, and the planned reading. Okay, that also you should write it properly. There are several evaluators, okay, evaluators, those who will look into those, that what kind of references you have added, so that the quality of research or the passion of researcher and the kind of time you have spent on preparing your proposal, everything will be reflected. If you simply write down the copy paste thing, then it is not going to be useful. At the same time, nowadays, okay, funding agencies, they are going for a similarity check. So you cannot really take directly material which is available from web. Okay, if you do that, then if the similarity is more than 20%, then definitely they are going to reject, irrespective of from which institute you are. Even if you are from IIT, NIT, anywhere, they will be rejecting your proposal. Okay, so from that point of view, you should be very, very clear that similarity should be checked before you really submit your proposal. So yeah, this is what I wanted to tell you from research proposal point of view. I think now it's Darshan. Can I take some additional 10 minutes if possible?
Sir, we have still 25 minutes. Our session is 1:30.
No, there should be some interaction also, na?
Yes, sir. You can take 10 to 15 minutes, not an issue.
Yeah. So I want to show some actual research proposal which I prepared for some funding agencies. I think I will show you the goods cost proposal. That will be better to go with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's how I planned that 1 hour I will talk about how to make research proposal, and then I will show you a practical example of that. Okay. And then we can have discussion on, I would like to interact more. Otherwise, I feel that I'm talking to some black screen. That is not good for me, actually. Yeah. Let me unshare this presentation first. I think I have unshared already, right? No, I have not unshared. So now I am just sharing with you the proposal which was prepared by us for submission to goods cost. Okay, why I am taking goods cost? Because this is the funding agency which you should actually target. That is why I am showing you this. I hope you are able to see, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So generally this format is available on their website. Okay, this is the new scheme which they are giving under the scheme of minor research project. Okay, I think there is also one scheme called as major research project. Okay, you can read this as a major research project also. It is not like always minor research project only. If you visit their website, I think you will find there are lots of things. I think 1 or 2 PDFs also I will share with with Darshan, so that he can share with you. So this is the cover page. Cover page should be neatly planned. Okay, and then here, see, you can see now this is the title. Title should be very crisp, and I told you that it should carry clear-cut meaning. Application of Wi-Fi sensors for mapping and modeling congestion at network level under Indian traffic conditions. So this is the title. I hope that each and every person is very clear about this title. So even if you are not from transportation engineering, okay, the area in which I work, but I am sure that certainly you know, okay, application word you know very well, Wi-Fi word you know very well, sensors you know very well, right? Congestion you know very well, right? Then network level Indian traffic conditions you know very well, and they should be as crisp as possible, so that there is no okay, there is no any ambiguity. That means it should be completely unambiguous, so that the meaning is quite clear to you. Okay, so this is the first thing which we should go for. Generally we say application, examining, investigating, deriving. Okay, those kind of things generally they will start with the title. Okay, that will be much better. Or even maybe you can go with modeling also, that's not a problem. And you should see that all this formatting is very well done. If you go for okay, if you don't go for proper formatting, then it will not be good. And the quality of your okay, your logos and institute logos, they should be very clear, they should be visible. If it is not visible and if it is shabby, then it is not going to be good actually. Okay, so from that point of view, it is very important. Generally they ask you, this is the format of proposal. They ask you for the title, which we have already discussed. Keywords, they are very important. Keywords, now keywords, they should be taken in such a way that they are going to, okay, they are going to highlight the, okay, they are going to highlight their thrust areas. For example, it may be one sustainable habitat. So you may go for using that particular word, that sustainable habitat, or maybe AI MI based applications, okay, ML application, and so on. Okay, it may be even related to medicine, it may be related to even social science. So keywords, identifying keywords is really a very, very important task, and they should be appealing so that immediately they feel that I should go and read the next step. Broad area, of course, science and technological studies and surveys. Okay, duration is going to be 3 years. The total cost project okay, is rupees 49.5 lakhs. Okay, this is like a summary which they have asked. I will show you how it is arrived at. Principal investigator, co-principal investigator, if somebody is there. Then capability of organization, they are asking what is the capability of organization. So as a transportation engineering planning section, we have written that what is our ability to do this particular work, and what we have done in past, so that okay, it makes a very strong case that our proposal is going to be accepted. So these are the points which you should highlight in a very important way, in a very I will say convincing way, and in a very appealing way, so that it gets really accepted. Okay, expertise available. You can write that the investigators, okay, whatever is your expertise available. If you have good contact with your national institutes or state level institutes, or maybe you're at international level, okay, and what are the areas in which they work, and if you can show some collaborations with them, it will be even better. So if you want to get more and more funding, then definitely the level and okay, the kind of things which you like to prepare, your funding will increase based on your experience of writing and your collaborations. So from that point of view, it will be really interesting. Then they will also ask you what is the list of ongoing and completed projects. Of course, for minor projects, they may not ask you. This question, this particular section is only made for those who have already some experience in handling big projects. Okay, maybe it may not be important for you if you are going to just begin your proposal. Okay, maybe you can look at some other points. Of course, name of the account details and all. Of course, this is there is no need to explain anything on that. Technical details section started. Now here it comes like background. What is the description of problem, right? Then so you should write in a very crisp way, and then here generally they mention even the word limits. So definitely background is something like not more than maybe 500 words or 1000 words. And when you write all these things, you should make it very clear cut that what exactly is the area in which you are going to work. Okay, then what are the so in that yeah, I think it was allocated with 2 pages. So you should follow that particular deadline or the page limit in such a way that you are not okay, overruling their format. So you should follow their instructions very well. This is the background of problem. That means what exactly, okay, you are going to deal with, how this is important, what is the problem definition or the problem statement, okay, and you are going to convince how exactly it is going to be there. So in our case, we are going to use different sensors, and we are trying to convince that which kind of sensor is best, so that we can measure our traffic flow characteristics using some automation technique. Okay, so that is the whole idea regarding this project. and what are different technologies are available, and how you are going to use this technology for a particular purpose. What is the basic concept in your proposal? Okay, what is the basic concept in your proposal? Some kind of graphic you can use, so that you can highlight the importance of that, and you can make your concept very easily to understand. Okay, and very swift you can make it your presentation. So from that point of view, you can prepare all these things. Okay, then there can be some good literature review. Fine. Yeah, these are the things. There can be good literature review. So literature review again can be divided into two parts. One can be at national level, one can be at international level. Okay, sometimes proposal asks separately, sometimes they ask in a combined way. Finally, you can say that if I want to achieve all these things, then these are the you can select some broader blocks of your literature review, and you can divide it into A, B, and so on. Okay, and finally you can say that how these ABCs, different blocks, how they are okay, connected with each other, and okay, and then finally they can definitely help you out in identifying the research gaps, fine, to yeah. So finally here we can say that based on the review of available literature, the following points have been identified as a research gap. So these are the research gaps, 4 research gaps you have identified, and from that you can definitely then say that what are the challenges and constraints, okay, with respect to this. Fine. And then description of proposal, in which first comes out to be objective of project. Generally we should not have more than 4 or 5 objectives. Then they may ask even for some of the preliminary investigations done by your organization. That means what is the, so it is also important to showcase that what is the kind of work we have done in past, so that they feel that you are confident a researcher and you have done some work in this direction, and you are likely to get some more work done and expand your ideas. Okay, so you can choose proper graphs, proper plots, and convince them that how exactly this study is going to be useful. Okay, so mainly it is going to be a combination of clear-cut idea through graphics, flowcharts, and okay, the explanation, so that there is a possibility that you can get it. Okay, so even some experimentation what we have done in field, that also you can show here. I'm showing you just a kind of okay, how a particular sensor can be placed, so that we can think of, okay, we can think of going for automatic traffic characteristics by virtue of Wi-Fi sensors. Okay, this is just an idea, and we have shown that what kind of data is used. But this is only one this is only one Wi-Fi, but I want more units, so I want to buy these Wi-Fi sensors, and for that purpose I need some funding. And what are the limitations if I get only one sensor data, and what can be the benefits out of number of data points? Then what is the science and technology component in this project? That is what they will ask us. Okay, and what are the other organizations working in this area, and what they have achieved? And from that, then proposed methodology will have procurement of equipment, identification of okay, data site, data collection, all these things. So you need to write a very good proposal. Okay, so many details they ask if you want to really get funding of the order of 50 lakhs and so on. So this is a step-by-step explanation, and yeah, this is the final okay, flow chart, that how different components are going to be okay, connected with each other. I told you that procurement of sensors, then okay, Wi-Fi sensor, videographic. Okay, these are the what kind of analysis you are going to do, how you are going to do field studies. Okay, all these things you should show in research framework. And then this is going to be the work plan. Again, I told you first year, second year, third year, and this is month wise: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 months. 12 into 3, 36 months. This scheme is, I think, for 2 months only. 2 years, no, it is for 3 years. So we can show all these things. And after that, what is the outcome? This is very important. What is the outcome of project? Okay, so you should be able to explain and clear-cut give demonstration that how this idea is going to be converted into real outcome, and how that outcome can be used in terms of making impact. Okay, likely impact, right? Likely impact can be there, so that who are the people who are going to be using this technology. For example, I have written here Surat Municipal Corporation. You can write even the other corporations, okay, or maybe the relevant agencies and government organizations in your area, those who can get benefit out of it. Parameters for monitoring the effectiveness of project. So here, these are the suggested project activities, and these are the suggested post-project activities, that how this project will be able to give you further impetus in arriving at, okay, in even still better higher level objectives. And they will ask you that how exactly you have arrived at a particular value of 50 lakhs or 10,000, 20,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, whatever. So you can divide this into two areas, recurring and non-recurring. And okay, once you do that, then what is the salary or fellowship, consumables, travel, contingency, permanent equipments, okay, maybe high speed computer, whatever, okay, whatever you want to do. Non-recurring and recurring. Recurring is like consumables, wherein you are going to incur fund okay, on a regular basis, maybe every month, every 6 months or something like that. So even you can put here batteries, printers, okay, paper, stationery, salaries of fellowship, okay, all those things. Recurring and non-recurring. Then the total grant, okay, you can have some overhead cost if it is required in your institution, and then you can go for the final cost, okay, and you can show how exactly what exactly going to be the cost of that. Budget for consumables, what kind of consumables you are going to use it. So if you go more and more detailing, then it will carry a good message that you are very clear about your proposal, okay. Budget for travel, then other costs, budget for permanent equipment, what are the likely cost of equipment, what is the justification of equipment. So that much of detail if you give, then it will be even better. And finally, these are the references which are already cited in your literature review. So likewise, you have to write a thorough proposal, and okay, generally you should have at least 20 to 30 good papers which you have cited. And of course, you can give the resume. This is very important part of your proposal. What kind of okay work you have done, and okay, this of course you know very well that how to write a research proposal, and how to write a particular okay, how to write a particular CV, so that you get to know all these things, and there is a likelihood that you can get okay, you can get this proposal. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to tell you. This is what I wanted to discuss with you, that how exactly it can be useful, okay, writing these proposals. Yeah, I am ready to answer your questions if you have questions, and I'm ready also for interaction. I hope that, Darshan, that is what you wanted me to give. I have covered reasonably the contents which you wanted me to okay, intended me to give in this particular session. Is that okay? Darshan, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what I am trying to say is, I hope that whatever you intended me to deliver, I have delivered, and I'm ready for interaction now.
Yes, sir. Sir, there are some questions in the chat box. One of the participants is asking, can we get this Word format of research proposal?
Which one? The one which I have shown you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will. I will certainly share it, because, but then unfortunately right now fortunately it is under review right now. Okay, but I will share